Wildfires are becoming more common. In recent years, the frequency of wildfires has increased dramatically, turning once rare events into almost seasonal occurrences. This alarming trend is not just a coincidence, but a direct consequence of various environmental and human factors. They are also becoming more intense. The fires we see today are fiercer and more destructive than those of the past. This increase in intensity is due to a combination of higher temperatures, prolonged droughts, and the accumulation of dry vegetation, which acts as fuel for these raging infernos. This is due to climate change and human activities. Climate change has led to hotter and drier conditions, creating the perfect environment for wildfires to ignite and spread rapidly. Additionally, human activities such as unattended campfires, discarded cigarettes, and even deliberate acts of arson contribute significantly to the outbreak of these fires. These fires have a devastating impact on communities. When a wildfire strikes, it doesn't just burn trees and vegetation, it destroys entire communities. Homes are reduced to ashes, and the infrastructure that supports daily life is obliterated, leaving residents with nothing but the clothes on their backs. They destroy homes, businesses, and livelihoods. The economic impact is staggering, with businesses being forced to close and jobs being lost. The cost of rebuilding and recovery can run into billions of dollars, putting a significant strain on local and national economies. The immediate aftermath of a wildfire is chaotic. Emergency responders work tirelessly to contain the blaze and protect lives, but the situation is often chaotic and unpredictable. Evacuations are hurried, and people have little time to gather their belongings or make plans for the future. People lose their belongings and are forced to flee their homes. The sense of loss is profound as families leave behind cherished possessions and memories. The uncertainty of not knowing if they will have a home to return to adds to the emotional burden. The emotional toll is immense. Watching your home and community go up in flames is a traumatic experience. The emotional scars can last a lifetime, affecting not just the immediate victims, but also their families and friends. The physical damage caused by wildfires is easy to see. The charred remains of trees, homes, and infrastructure are stark reminders of the fire's destructive power. The landscape is transformed into a barren wasteland, devoid of life and color. However, the mental health impacts are often hidden. While the physical damage is visible, the psychological impact is less apparent but equally devastating. Many survivors experience anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, long after the flames have been extinguished. Many people suffer in silence. The stigma associated with mental health issues often prevents individuals from seeking the help they need. They may feel isolated and misunderstood, compounding their suffering. They struggle to cope with the trauma of the event. Counseling and mental health support are crucial for helping survivors process their experiences and begin the healing process. Without this support, the road to recovery can be long and arduous. It is crucial to understand the long-term effects of wildfires on mental health. Recovery is not just about rebuilding homes and infrastructure, it's also about addressing the emotional and psychological needs of those affected. Long-term mental health support can make a significant difference in the lives of survivors. We need to provide support to those who need it most. Community support, mental health services, and government assistance are all essential in helping individuals and communities recover from the devastating impact of wildfires. By working together, we can build resilience and ensure that those affected by wildfires receive the care and support they need to rebuild their lives. After a wildfire, the initial shock and adrenaline subside. The immediate danger has passed, but the aftermath is just beginning to unfold. The once vibrant landscape is now a haunting reminder of the fire's destructive power. The air is thick with the smell of smoke, and the ground is littered with the charred remains of what once was. This is when the true extent of the trauma starts to emerge. The initial relief of survival gives way to the overwhelming reality of loss. Families are left to confront the devastation of their homes and communities. The emotional toll is immense, as they grapple with the enormity of what has been lost. Survivors are left to pick up the pieces of their lives. They sift through the debris, searching for anything that might have survived the flames. Each item found is a small victory, a piece of their past that has been spared. But the road to recovery is long and arduous, filled with both physical and emotional challenges. They grapple with the loss of their homes, possessions, and sense of security. The places they once felt safe are now unrecognizable. The memories tied to these spaces are tainted by the trauma of the fire. Rebuilding is not just a physical process, but an emotional one as well. The emotional scars run deep, affecting their mental well-being in profound ways. The trauma of the fire can lead to a range of mental health issues, from anxiety and depression to more severe conditions like post-traumatic stress disorder. The journey to healing is a complex and deeply personal one. One of the most common mental health challenges faced by wildfire survivors is post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. This condition can manifest in many ways, from flashbacks and nightmares to severe anxiety and emotional numbness. The support of mental health professionals and community groups is crucial in helping survivors navigate these challenges. PTSD can develop after experiencing or witnessing a terrifying event. The unpredictability and intensity of wildfires make them particularly traumatic. The fear and helplessness felt during the fire can linger long after the flames have been extinguished, affecting every aspect of a survivor's life. Wildfires, with their unpredictable nature and potential for destruction, can be deeply traumatic experiences. The speed at which they spread, the noise, the heat, and the sheer force of the flames can leave an indelible mark on those who experience them. The aftermath is a stark reminder of nature's power and the fragility of human life. The constant threat of fire, the loss of loved ones, and the displacement from homes can leave lasting psychological wounds. Memorials stand as a testament to those who were lost, while temporary shelters become a refuge for the displaced. The sight of children clutching their only remaining possessions is a poignant reminder of the fire's impact on the most vulnerable. The road to recovery is long, but with support and resilience, communities can begin to heal and rebuild. PTSD manifests in different ways. Survivors may experience intrusive memories, nightmares, or flashbacks of the event. They may feel emotionally numb or detached from others. They may avoid anything that reminds them of the fire. Everyday sounds and smells can trigger intense fear and anxiety. Imagine a young boy named Alex. He lived through a wildfire that swept through his town. He remembers the intense heat, the smell of smoke, and the terrified screams of his neighbors. Now, months later, he still has nightmares. He wakes up in a cold sweat, the feeling of fear suffocating him. This is the reality of PTSD, a constant battle with the past. Section 4. Anxiety's shadow, fear that lingers. Anxiety is another common response to the trauma of a wildfire. The experience can disrupt a person's sense of safety and security. This can lead to constant worry, fear, and a feeling of being on edge. Sarah, a single mother, lost her home in a wildfire. She managed to escape with her 2 young children, but the experience left her deeply anxious. Every time she smells smoke, her heart races. The fear that the fire might return haunts her thoughts. This constant state of anxiety makes it difficult for her to focus on rebuilding her life. Section 5. Depression's weight, a heavy burden. The aftermath of a wildfire is not just a physical devastation, but an emotional one as well. The charred remains of what once was a thriving ecosystem now stand as a stark reminder of loss and destruction. The losses associated with wildfires can also lead to depression. The sight of burned-down homes and properties, the charred remains of a once lively neighborhood, can be deeply unsettling. The emotional toll is immense, as people grapple with the reality of losing everything they once held dear. The feeling of sadness, hopelessness, and loss of interest in life can be overwhelming. For many, the emotional scars run deeper than the physical ones. The weight of depression can make even the simplest tasks seem insurmountable. Survivors may experience changes in appetite, sleep patterns, and energy levels. The trauma of the event can lead to sleepless nights, where the mind is unable to escape the haunting memories of the fire. Meals go untouched, as the desire to eat fades away, replaced by a constant knot of anxiety and sorrow. They may withdraw from social activities and isolate themselves. The once comforting presence of friends and family now feels like a distant memory. Social gatherings become a source of anxiety, and the urge to isolate becomes stronger. John, a retired teacher, lost his home and all his belongings in a wildfire. The fire didn't just take his possessions, it took a part of his soul. The memories of a lifetime, the irreplaceable mementos, all gone in a matter of moments. The fire also claimed the lives of several of his friends and neighbors. The community, once a close-knit group, now mourns together, sharing in the collective grief. The loss of life adds another layer of pain, making the road to recovery even more challenging. He feels an overwhelming sense of grief and despair. The weight of his loss is almost too much to bear. Every day is a struggle, as he tries to come to terms with the reality of his new life. The joy has gone out of his life, replaced by a deep sadness. The once vibrant colors of his world are now muted, overshadowed by the darkness of his grief. The memories of happier times only serve to deepen the sense of loss. He struggles to find the motivation to rebuild and move forward. The task of rebuilding seems daunting, almost impossible. The physical labor is exhausting, but the emotional toll is even greater. Each piece of debris he clears is a reminder of what once was, and the future feels uncertain and bleak. Yet, amidst the despair, there is a glimmer of hope. The support of the community, the kindness of strangers, and the resilience of the human spirit offer a beacon of light in the darkness. Rebuilding will be a long and arduous journey, but with time, patience, and support, there is a path forward. Section 6. Finding strength in unity, community support. While the mental health impacts of wildfires can be severe, there is hope. Communities can play a vital role in supporting survivors. Sharing experiences, offering practical help, and providing emotional support can make a significant difference. In the wake of a wildfire that devastated their town, a group of survivors formed a support group. They meet regularly to share their stories, offer each other encouragement, and navigate the challenges of rebuilding their lives. The group provides a safe and understanding space for them to process their trauma and find strength in unity.